Is your debt causing you sleepless nights? Knock your debt out with Debt KO. And your debt won't be the only thing keeping you up at night. Debt KO, free impartial advice on all your debt.
Razabani for IFL TV in association with MTK Global. With me, we've got former world champion, not retired just yet, my man Liam Smith. Liam, it's been a while. How are we doing?
I'm good, mate. You?
Yeah, not too bad, Liam. Not too bad, Liam. Before we talk anything boxing, Liam, it's been a kind of a tough ride for the world over the last 6-7 months with this COVID-19, etc. I know you're not getting any younger and it's disrupted your kind of career for a little while. You haven't fought for a little while, but how have you kind of been coping since the whole pandemic kind of started?
Coping, mate. Obviously, I'm a grown man. I need to be coping. I've got a family to look after and a daughter to look after. So if I'm not coping, then something's wrong. But it hasn't been the best. As in, it's done me head in. It's probably done a lot of people's heads in. You know what I mean? It's come at a bad time. From a personal point of view, it's come at a bad time in a career wise, because I'm 32. I haven't got 12 months to sit on the couch. You know what I mean? If I was a bit younger, then it wouldn't have been so damaging. But there we go.
Big news broke yesterday in the boxing world. Canelo has said all day that he was going to make an announcement at 11 p.m. UK time. There was a lot of talk about Billy Joe Saunders. There was Plant as well from PBC. But it was announced that Callum Smith has finally got the fight that he's been wanting for a very, very long time. Firstly, how happy are you for your brother to get this opportunity to fight arguably one of the best fighters in the world?
Yeah, I'm very happy for Callum. Just for the self-benefit, this fight's been lingering over him for 12, 18 months now, and people asking him every day, are you getting a Canelo fight, or you're not getting a Canelo fight? And we all know it's all in Canelo's hands. He got a lot of stick, Callum, from the last one. Like, he got offered the offer which they all said no to, him and Billy Joe, and then Billy Joe got a second offer and then a third offer, and then he finally agreed to fight Billy Joe at one stage. But Callum was never offered the second offer, but was seen to be slaughtered on social media that he'd knocked back the Canelo fight, and it was, I felt sorry for him. It's been lingering. I know him as a person. It's been doing his head in for a long time now. So I went to gym with him today, and I sparred with him and watched him spar somebody else, and he just seemed like a different man today. Now that's over the line, he can concentrate on one thing and one thing only, and that's the fight. So he seemed a totally different man today in the gym.
We know he had that devastating performance against George Groves in Saudi Arabia, where he turned up and retired George Groves. But is this what Callum thrives on? Is he he needs those big, huge mega fights to get the best out of himself?
Yeah, he does, as in a sense. He always seems to perform in that sense. A lot of people, judging on what you just said, a lot of people are just looking into the John Ryder fight a little bit too much. You know what I mean? And you can say that, but he's had devastating performance. Hassan Nadam, Rocky Fielding, Mohammadi went 12 rounds. Every time he stepped up for them type fights, he's performed. The John Ryder fight, people are looking into, and it's kind of took a lot away from Callum. Everything he's done and everything he's achieved, and you only have to look at the stuff he's achieved to realise he's a special fighter, and one lacklustre performance is not going to ruin him. Before that John Ryder fight, 90% of people now saying Canelo beats him, but they were probably saying he beats Canelo. And he had a lacklustre performance against Ryder, and people have just written him off. But this is the perfect fight at the perfect time for me, for Callum, and it's one that gets his teeth back into. It's one that, we said to him, the John Ryder fight was a no-win situation. This Canelo fight now has become a no-lose situation because of the Ryder fight. And a lot less people are picking him to win now because of that fight, if you understand what I mean. So, like I said beforehand, everyone was on the bandwagon, this is the man to beat Canelo, this is the man to beat Canelo. So then it's big pressure when he does fight Canelo. Now, all of a sudden, no one thinks he beats Canelo. So this is a win-win situation for him. So he's gone from a no-win situation with Ryder. You know, if he blew Ryder away, everyone would have said so be it. You know, Ryder's been stopped before, and you know he beat Ryder on points. Ryder being beat on points. It was a no-win situation. The Ryder fight, in my opinion, I said from day one. This one now is a no-lose situation.
We know Canelo's got an absolute perfect record against the Brits. You fought Amir Khan, fought yourself, Matthew Hatton, I think Ryan Rhodes as well, top of my head.
Yeah.
Perfect record for Canelo. He's been floating between 154, 160, 168, 175, obviously against Kovalev. What are the key factors here for Callum? What does he have as advantage to beat Canelo at 168?
I just think skill-wise, he can match him, he can compete with him. You know, he's a very skillful fighter, but also Callum's a very, very good fighter. You know, and then power-wise, Golovkin, yes, you know, massive puncher at middleweight. I think it's no given, and I know it's me brother, but he's a massive puncher at 168, and he can gamble with Canelo. Not many people can gamble, you know, as Canelo's throwing me fire, and catch Callum's perfect shot. I think is a perfect shot for Canelo. A catch left hook, catch right hook, or whatever else. Because I do feel Canelo lifts his head in the air when he left hooks, but that's picking little points. But I just think Callum size-wise, can compete with him, and I don't think Canelo was a fully fledged 168.
I remember speaking to you, Liam, a couple of years ago at the Hilton Hotel in Liverpool when your fight was announced with Canelo. And I asked you at the time, you obviously trained at Amir Khan's gym. Are you going to take any advice from Amir Khan, who had been in the ring with Canelo? And you said it's a complete different fight. Now, obviously, your brother goes in. What kind of advice can you give your brother for this fight?
He could look at it along the same lines. As much as stylistically, me and Callum are not far apart, as in, the same type fighter, obviously different frame, different stature. But I can give him all the tips I can think of, as in, little stuff Canelo does in the ring, feints, combos that I felt Canelo was throwing a lot, which a couple of times I thought he was throwing the same combination with me. I said before my fight, and there's all videos of it now, he's got the same rhythm, same movement when he moves his head. He moves, and then he does it like laid back dips, and then he spins to the side. It's me trying to do it now while I'm standing here, but he's got the same kind of rhythm, and sometimes which you can notice when you're watching him and studying him. And but I can give him as much tips as I want. When you go in there, it could pan out totally different. So, Callum's not stupid. We'll do something for the next 4 weeks, and if it works, so be it. If it doesn't, Callum's got to adjust on a night or whatever Canelo does.
We know how good Callum can be on his best night, but he's going in there arguably with one of the greatest fighters of our time, who hasn't shied away from fighting the best of the best. But is this a tough ask for Callum, or would you say he's got a very, very good chance against Canelo?
I think he's got a very, very good chance, and that's what I've said all along with Canelo Alvarez. I think if anybody's got a style and a chance of beating Canelo, I think it's Callum, and I've said this since day one, and people probably think I have to say that. We said the same thing with Callum coming through. We were all British champion, and we told everybody, and everybody who would listen, we've got a younger brother who's probably going to be the best of the four of us, and people thought we were maybe saying it to get Callum a bit of publicity when he was coming through, because we were all like British champion and he was maybe 5, 6-0, and we've said this since day one. He's got everything, and every time he's had big chances to prove things, he's done it. And this for me will be the icing on the cake. This will cement him to what we've always said about him.
Liam, do you know if there's a rehydration clause?
No, there isn't. Not as of yet. I'm pretty sure they come on last night to try and put one in, but it's not in as of yet. They haven't put that in, but I'm pretty sure if they decide to put that in now, then they've got to do something about it, whether they pay Callum more money for the rehydration clause. They can't just put it in once the fight's done. You know what I mean? The fight was done and announced last night, and there's no rehydration clause. So I think if Team Canelo want a rehydration clause in it now, then the only way Callum will probably accept that is if they pay him.
Okay, well, we wish Callum and yourself and the whole family all the best with training camp, and we look forward to that monumental clash next month. Liam, before I let you go, I remember speaking to you at the O2 not long ago. I can't remember which fight it was, maybe a Dylan White fight, and we talked about Kell Brook. Adam Smith was there as well at the time as well, and you really, really wanted that fight. Firstly, before we talk about you potentially fighting Kell Brook, how did you kind of assess his performance last week against Terence Crawford?
I thought he boxed very well at the start. You know, to be dead honest with you, it was what I expected of him. You know, ability-wise, while you're both fresh, you can match anyone in the world. He's a very good fighter. But I thought Crawford got to him earlier than I thought. I thought Brook would start well and maybe fade away, and Crawford would take over round 7 or something. But you know, he got caught with a shot, and it seemed to go right to his boots. The shot surprised me. It was a jab at the end. At the end of the day, he got done with a jab, but it just goes to show you that the timing's right with a jab. You can stop people. Everyone bangs on about Kell stopping people with jabs. I think he stopped DeLuca with a jab. No, I was there. Kell's last fight. But he got done himself with a jab, and Crawford got very good timing. But I think maybe the weight, maybe the life, I don't know, but I still don't feel that shot should be doing the damage it done, to be honest with you. And you know, I don't want to be brutal about it, but you asked me what I saw, and that's what I saw.
You're approaching, I think, nearly a year out the ring now, Liam. I know you don't want to have those tune-up fights. You want to have those big fights, but we don't know what Kell's going to do yet. But have you got a few names in mind that you want to go after? Is Kell Brook the one that you want? It's still a big clash in the UK.
Yeah, if it came to me and said, look, Liam, we want to do the Brook fight, which to me is created madness now, because I thought that fight was done. You know, I'm not going to knock the fact he went and fought Crawford, but before the Crawford fight was on the table, the fight with me and him should have been made. You know, I was at his fight February because I thought the fight was done, and it didn't materialise. But if somebody came to me now with the Brook fight and it made sense to me, I'll bite your hand off for it, as I would with any fighter. But he's not a name now that I'm looking for. No, I was, but I'm going to look for Tim Tszyu, Jesse Vargas, you know, fighters like that to get me back to a world title shot. And you know, I'm number 3 with the WBO. Tim Tszyu with 2. Castano 1. Castano's fighting Teixeira. So, you know, I'll be looking at one of them names this year. I've seen Eddie do the interview yesterday and mention Jesse Vargas again. I spoke to him last night also, Jesse Vargas. So, you know, hopefully once we get Christmas and New Year out the way, the end of January or February, I'm sure we can make something happen. Okay,
Liam, I know you're a big Liverpool fan as well. Was it tough not being able to see them do a parade this year? I'm a Liverpool fan as well, so it was hard for me not to see the parade in Liverpool City Centre.
Yeah, it's been tough, all of it, you know, and even this season as well, tough again. Obviously, the injuries we're getting it with, and big game the weekend with Leicester, but you know, it's just good that, you know, we're finally back on top, really, and you know, we're challenging for league titles because we went off the boil for a little bit, but you know, we are one of the top sides in world football at the moment, and just hope the injuries can come back quick.
Absolutely, as they say, trusting Klopp.
Yeah, definitely.
Liam, thank you so much for your time today this evening, my man. Wish you all the best, and we'll definitely catch up with you hopefully in December, closer to Callum's fight.
Nice one, mate. Thank you.
Liam Smith, IFL TV. Thank you very much.
Is your debt causing you sleepless nights? Knock your debt out with Debt KO. And your debt won't be the only thing keeping you up at night. Debt KO, free impartial advice on all your debt.